thing is, I have a lot more better things to do. So when they wanted me, after I got out of, before, when they wanted me to sign that 50 plus page of papers, I mean, come on, who's going to sign it? It could say like I murdered someone, I was drug trafficking, child trafficking. Um, it could say like I raped somebody, like I committed a bank robbery and go to prison for 100 years. So I didn't sign it. Mm, I mean, they put me in the back of a pickup truck, hog-tied, just going up and down the hills, and just like took me on this rugged ride all over. Um, they trapped me in a store. Well, before that, they trapped me in a store. There was, they were trying to, some guy came at me with a hammer and one of those barbecue pit, like pokers or whatever. I mean, nobody helped me. I'm actually lucky I'm alive. Um, they didn't think I spoke Spanish, so they would talk about stuff like they were going to shoot me in my head, or a police officer put me by an exit sign and took a picture. I mean, they had taken several pictures of me already. I mean, if you're in custody, how many pictures do you need? And I said, why, if you're taking a picture of me, you're taking a picture of me by the exit sign, and then you open the door leading to the street. I told her, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to run. I love my family and I love myself, and I'm not going to be stupid, and I'm going to sit down on the ground, and I don't care if you like it or not. So then she took me to like the chief of police or something and said, okay, she went and left, and I sat on the floor, and then she went and talked to somebody, and then he, I guess, apparently wanted to talk to me, so I had to walk over there, and he said, you need to sign it. And I'm like, I'm not going to sign it because it could say I could go to prison for like 100 years. I need like some representation because I, I, I don't know what it says. I'm not fluent in reading Spanish. I mean, I can, but I'm not. And he said, put her in the special chair. And so the female cop said, okay, well, we're going to put you in the special chair. And so I was like, well, what's the special chair? Well, instead they put me in that cell with the embalming fluid. And then, so that happened. And it was an experience that no one should have to go through. And so when the consulate came, then they were jumping around, running around, and they got my paperwork. I'm sure it was an interview because they had supposedly all of a sudden had people coming. I believe it was even on a Sunday, okay? And then supposedly my public defender. And come to find out after talking to her, she was a secretary at the courthouse or whatever. And they interviewed me. They asked questions about my family, about everything, my background, just a lot of questions. And then they wanted me to sign it. I said no. And they said, no, if you don't sign it, you're not going to get out. And because I wanted to get out, I signed it. Right? And so that's how I found out. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say how I found out because I already knew that I always have to be on my alert. I mean, if you have not experienced it, you don't understand it. And that's extremely from the bottom of my heart to get that message out. Because what they said to me before I signed the paperwork to leave, they said, you will not talk about this. You will not bring it to social media. You will not take it to the media, TVs, newspapers, nothing. And I said, okay. So I'm like looking at it, and I took a college course in Spanish, and, like I said, I know a little bit. And so I said, that doesn't say that I'm not supposed to go to the media, and social media and the newspapers. What it says is that I am not to break any laws while being there in their city, And I am not to, I need to abide by all laws. And if not, then I can be removed from the country and I will not be able to return back. And so I did, what can I say? I'm not going to let them tell me, oh, yeah, it says to not go to social media, but I got the picture. I got the message loud and clear. Okay, and this is like 2017, crossing over to 2018. So I'm thinking it's like 2018, the beginning. And then I said, okay, I'm not going to go. It's like, I'm not going to be a snitch. I don't care. I just I'm happy to be alive and I'm going to get there. But it was a task getting to the border because they already stole all my stuff. I had no identification. So I had to beg somebody to go to MoneyGram to get my money out so I can get a ticket because even my car keys were there. I had nothing. The only thing I crossed the border with was the clothes I was wearing. And I did look like a crazy woman. And so I sat in Starbucks and I was like kind of looking at people and kind of trying to read them. And I found some young man and he was working at Office Depot across the parking lot. And I'm like, I think, this guy looks like he would help me. So I explained my situation and he went and got my money for me. It was traumatic, okay? He went and got my money for me, and I tried to give him some money, and he refused to take it. And I tried, and he said no, but I got his name. Maybe when I got back, I did send him some money, because that's very rare. Everybody turned their back on me. Even church people that were preaching the Bible on the street. I asked, can you please let me use my cell phone, your cell phone or a phone, please? I'm like desperate. I'm kind of stranded, and no, they refused. So I thought that was a blessing that I did find somebody that was going to do that. So he got the money for me and he refused. So I did send him something. And, I'm just lucky that I made it back. I couldn't trust anybody. I had to figure out a taxi cab that I trusted to get to the border. But it was a horrible experience because when I went to my apartment, nobody would let me in because there's like big gates like over there. There's a lot of thievery, so you have to have like iron locked gates over there. And so nobody listened to me and they didn't want me in. And so I went to the owner's place to let me in. But unfortunately, he was in the United States visiting his family. So I couldn't get in. And so I wound up safely getting to the border, which was a task in itself. Terrible, traumatic. And they let me go through because my passport picture and my passport was inside the computer system. And so when I got across, then I had to take a bus home. And that bus ride, let me tell you, was an experience. That was crazy. And that'll be my next story because it happens. Oh, kind of rolling back because I have so much stuff. Maybe about a year prior to that, a so-called step niece stole my birth certificate, my social security number, my social security card out of my lockbox. And I think things kind of like spiraled in circles with other areas of my life. But I don't know why I said that. I just have to throw that out. But it's like they do try to take your identity and sell it for a taco or two, probably. Maybe, I don't know, maybe get a family pack or a family meal. But literally for pennies.